Welcome to my 2022 hobby timeline. If you like content like this, leave a like. We started the year out strong, picking up this 1995 Topps Finest Gold Refractor of Wayne Gretzky in a PSA 10. This was the perfect copy of this card for a couple reasons. First off, it was a freshly graded PSA 10 and only a Pop 7. Secondly, this copy did not have the peel on it, which I strongly prefer because then the refractor can show off its full shine. And lastly, this copy had zero greening issues, and greening is a problem with this set. And another bonus was that the previous owner of this card was actually the person who pulled this card out of a pack, so I know this was a legitimate copy and not a backdoored copy. Next, on January 28th, we picked up a PMG green of Nathan MacKinnon out of the 2020 Metal Universe set. This was definitely one that I paid a bit too much for, and later in the year I sold this for about $800. That added up to about a $500 loss when you accounted for eBay fees. Definitely not my best purchase there, and later in the year I did decide to stop collecting McKinnon and focus on McDavid and Pederson, and I'll have more on that later. Then on February 8th, I picked up a 2015 SB Game News Connor McDavid rookie card in an auction. To be quite honest, I didn't expect to win this auction. I think I had a $3,000 max bid on it, and for some reason this sold for $2,600, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but we'll take it. Do people not know that this is his rarest rookie card and that there's only 97 copies of this card on the entire planet? Anyways, it's an absolutely sick card, but I'm not really one for collecting duplicates, so I did decide to move this one later on after having it graded with PSA, where it came back at PSA 9. Even in the mint grade, I only made a small profit on this card as I sold it for around 3,300 Canadian. Honestly, if I was smarter, I probably would have just held on to this card because how is that only a $3,300 card? Just an incredible buy for whoever got that. My next big pickup came in March when I picked up this 2021 OPG Platinum Preview Golden Treasures for Elias Pettersson. This was the first one-of-one I've added to my Pederson PC, and wow, I gotta say, these Golden Treasures absolutely pop in hand. Just an absolutely sick card. I think the seller had this one listed for $300 US or best offer. I didn't want to mess around and potentially lose the card, so I just hit the buy it now button and was very happy to add this one. The one-of-one theme would continue though. Less than 2 weeks later, this absolute whale of a card popped up on eBay. 2020 Metal Universe was the first time hockey ever had precious metal gems cards that were true base parallels. So when I saw the checklist and saw that Elias Pettersson had a one-of-one true precious metal gems card, I knew that was a card that I was going to want. With one-of-ones though, you never know if it'll even get pulled or if it'll be available for sale, so I was just very thankful to have a chance to get this one. I offered $1,500 US on it, and my offer was accepted. Then around that time, I received the craziest grade I have ever gotten on any card from all my PSA orders. My 2020 Metal Universe Precious Metal Gems Green Connor McDavid card number 97 received the impossible grade of a PSA 10. This copy is the single highest graded Precious Metal Gems green card for any hobby superstar. Here's a list of some of the biggest names in the hobby, both past and present. There's a combined 0 PMG green PSA 10s from this list of players. The only copy is this Connor McDavid sitting right here on my desk. And this isn't just a random parallel we're talking about. I believe the PMG green is one of the most important cards in hobby history. The legendary PMG green parallel was made famous by Michael Jordan in the 1997 Metal Universe set. These cards are notorious for being condition sensitive. The 6.5 that you're looking at here is actually the highest graded copy of the Michael Jordan PMG green. Now it's important to note with the Michael Jordan 1997 PMG, that card is not an insert. It is a true base card parallel. And like I said earlier, this is the first time hockey ever had base card parallel PMGs. You might be thinking, well, how much does it really matter for a card to be a base card? Here's a list of the top 100 selling cards of all time. On this list, there's only 6 inserts out of the 100 highest sales of all time, and the top 20 sales of all time are true base cards or base card parallels. All the best cards in the history of the hobby are base cards. 52 Mantle, Brady Contenders, LeBron Exquisite. Name whatever card you want to name, virtually all of them are true base cards. So I think it's actually an incredibly important attribute for a card to have. I believe this Michael Jordan PMG green to be the most important modern card ever made. So to have the Connor McDavid equivalent to this card in the highest PSA grade possible is something I'm very proud of, and it's truly a special card. Here's a few cool things that connect these cards. Both of these come out of Metal Universe sets, which is important because in hockey, every other time there had been PMGs, it came out of either Fleer Retro or Fleer Showcase. Both have their jersey number as the card number in the set, and that's not something that every player got, only the superstars had that honor. Both of these have the traditional PMG serial numbering, where there would be 100 total copies, but only the lowest 10 serial numbers would be green, while the other 90 would be red. There's also some cool numerology links between these cards. The Jordan was released in 1997, which was the year McDavid was born and the reason that he wears number 97, whereas the McDavid was released in 2020, which just happened to be exactly 23 years after the original set had released. Maybe it's just me, but I find little details like that really cool. The only reason I'm even pointing these things out is because I feel like this 2020 Metal Universe card has been so disrespected by the market. Take a look at some of these sales. Here's the top sales all time for the base card and for the retro. You can see that the retro copies top sale is $36K, whereas the base card's just $2,600. That's almost a 14 times multiplier in favor of the retro, which just makes absolutely no sense. But even crazier than that, take a look at this. The top sale ever for the green auto parallel is higher than the top sale for the true card. The auto is literally just a green parallel with a sticker auto on it. It's not even a precious metal gems card. Stuff like this makes me question whether the hockey market actually understands what they are buying. But anyways, rant over, let's continue with the timeline. So my next big purchase came on April 18th when another huge Pederson 1 of 1 popped up on my save searches. The 2018 OPG Platinum Elias Pederson Golden Treasures 1 of 1. This is the true rookie card in the set, and this was the last one I needed to complete the rainbow of this card. Platinum's my favorite set, so to be able to complete a rainbow for one of the players I collect is just an awesome accomplishment. The other player I collect, McDavid, obviously completing his rainbow is going to be virtually impossible because I wouldn't even want to know how much his 1 of 1 would cost. This is one of those cards I was always secretly hoping I'd get a chance to buy. I knew it had been pulled and I knew that it kind of floated around on some accounts that didn't look like they collected Pederson, so I was just happy to have a chance to grab it. And fun fact, when I sent my offer for this card, I actually just copy and pasted the same wording that Elon Musk used on his Twitter offer. The only thing I did is I changed the word shareholder with cosigner. No particular reason why I did that, I just thought it would be funny. I said that 3,000 USD was my best and final offer, but truthfully, I definitely would have paid more had they countered. My next big pickup came in May when I picked up this 2015 OPG Platinum Retro Gold Rookie of Connor McDavid. This was one that I was looking for quite a while because it was the last gold refractor out of 2015 Platinum that I was missing for McDavid. 2K US was definitely a high price to pay for this card though, and later on in the year I actually picked up another one for 1,000 US, so I definitely paid a little bit too strong for this one. I don't really mind overpaying for cards when they're for my PC, and that's what this card was for, but in the off season when I saw one for 1,000, I just thought that was too cheap, so I bought that and then ended up selling this one, so kind of recouped a little bit of my money there, but either way, just an awesome card. Then it was around that time when I made the biggest trade I've made in the hobby to date.
We have a trade to announce. I think you're going to want to hear this.
I gave up my Nathan MacKinnon Gold Prism Rookie in return for a McDavid Future Watch Auto 9.5 plus 3,000 cash. I had made a decision that it was basically too overwhelming to be collecting 3 modern players with Pederson, MacKinnon, and McDavid. So it was nothing against MacKinnon. He's a sick player, one of my favorite players in the league, but I just decided that I felt more passionately about collecting McDavid and Pederson. This was all right around the time when the Avs were going on their playoff run, so I felt like if I was going to stop collecting MacKinnon, this was a good time to sell. Now, the McDavid Future Watch Auto was actually a duplicate for me, but part of the reason I did the trade was because this copy had a really nice auto on it, and it was actually a decent upgrade on my other copy. But like I had mentioned before, I'm not really into collecting duplicates, even for really sick cards like this one, so I did decide to sell my other copy. I ended up netting 15,300 Canadian for my copy, which at the time was actually pretty low. I was expecting more like 16,000, 17,000. But eBay had a good promo going on with almost no seller fees, so I netted over 15,000 Canadian for the card. So after that sale, I was sitting on around a surplus of 18,000 cash, and you know what that means. Time to go Grail hunting. I won this auction for a 2015 Connor McDavid Ice Premier's True Rookie to 99. I think my final price paid was 12,100 Canadian. I don't actually recall my top bid, but it was probably 14 or 15K. So I was very happy and I felt like I got a great deal on this one. Now you might be wondering why the card I'm showing is in a PSA 9 when the one that I won was a BGS 9.5. The short answer to that question is that I'm a degenerate gambler, and the longer answer is that I'm basically a degenerate gambler. PSA 10 is only a pop 2, so I thought it would be a fun gamble to take, and truthfully I much prefer PSA slabs, and I actually like the card more in the PSA 9 than I did when it was in the BGS 9.5. Now I'm no genius at trading or like timing the market, but in this case it worked out heavily in my favor. After all those moves I showed you, I ended up having a net surplus of around 5,900, and I'd only actually paid 5,200 originally to get the MacKinnon Gold. So basically just by buying that card and making these moves, I ended up with an Ice Premier's McDavid for free plus $700. That really just shows the power of buying and selling and how you can kind of flip your way into a better collection. Again, I got pretty lucky with the timing and it wasn't how I intended things to work out, but it just worked out really well this time. And staying on the Ice Premiers train, I also picked up an Elias Pederson Ice Premiers in a PSA 10. As a bonus, this copy was the number 1 of 99, which I find really cool. I believe I ended up paying around 1,000 Canadian for this card. The Ice Premier True Rookies are some of the coolest cards in all of sports cards, in my opinion. It's like a unique thing that only hockey has. It wouldn't really work with other sports, and they're just super cool. They're really rare. Love serial numbered cards, love True Rookies, so this was definitely one I had on my list. And it was just perfect timing after picking up the McDavid, so really glad to have both of these ones in my collection. After that, we moved into July. Now, July was still Grail hunting season, but first we had this pickup. This is the 2018 SP Authentic Acetate Future Watch for Elias Pederson. Just a super short printed card and just trying to get all his rare stuff out of SP Authentic, so this one went towards my set. You can truly never go wrong with acetate and holofoil mixed together. Just makes for super cool looking cards. And PSA 10 on top of that, just a great card. Then around mid-July, it was Grail season once again. A fellow Instagram user, Porco_sportscards, posted a super rare Wayne Gretzky StarQuest Gold. Now, if you don't know, the StarQuest Golds are some of the rarest 90s cards. You will almost never see them pop up. I'd been looking for a Bure StarQuest Gold for quite some time, and I hadn't even seen a trace of one. I made some casual comment about how he could extort me if he ever had a Bure, and it just so happens that the person he bought this Gretzky from did in fact have a Bure as well. He put me in contact with the seller, and I was able to pick up what is, in my opinion, the holy grail for Pavel Bure cards. The 1998 UD Choice Pavel Bure StarQuest Gold, numbered out of 100. Now, to give you an idea of how rare these are, I could only find 2 photos of this card on the entire internet. One of them on Instagram and one of them on a Google search, and I later found out the photo on Instagram I saw was the same copy that I ended up buying later on. I can't figure out exactly why these are so rare because they are numbered to 100, but I think the general consensus was that the product was just kind of a lower end product aimed towards kids, so a lot of the stuff might have gotten lost or destroyed or thrown out. I also heard some rumors about a factory fire that might have destroyed some of these, but I have no way of substantiating that. I bought the card raw, and I do like my collection graded, so I got this graded with the PSA. Was very happy with the 7. It's another example of how rare this card is. There never had been a copy graded by PSA or Beckett. I ended up paying 1,900 Canadian for this card and super happy with it as the centerpiece of my Pavel Bure collection. I even offered Porco Sports Cards a 10% finder's fee, which he politely declined. I would highly recommend checking out his page as he has one of the best 90s hockey collections I've ever seen. My next pickup came near the end of July when I picked up this 2014 pre-rookie card of Connor McDavid. This is the 2014 Leaf Metal Prismatic Red, numbered to 3. I just thought this was the best available card he had from his prospect years in Erie, so I thought it'd be an awesome one to add to the PC. I also like that it's red. Kind of reminds me of the Topps Chromes out of 5 that they have in baseball. There is actually a Superfractor 1 of 1 of this card, so that would be technically his very best prospect card, but I think this red is the next best one. And as you can see, I did crack it out, and this time my gamble paid off as I got a PSA 10. Then one day when I refreshed my save searches, I got my luckiest deal probably ever. A 2021 OPC Platinum Preview Seismic Gold Connor McDavid. For some ungodly reason, the seller decided to list this card for $60. So I tried my best not to drop my phone as I panicked and scrambled to hit the buy it now button. I mean, I'm not sure how a card this nice with a serial number to 25 of the league's best player ever gets listed for $60, but certainly a lucky break for me, and I'll take it. This was actually the last card I needed for my Seismic Gold collection, and after getting this one, I had every single copy of McDavid's Seismic Golds from every release. So I guess the lesson there is just keep checking your save searches because you never know what's going to show up. And also, if you pull a McDavid Gold card numbered to 25, don't list it for $60. Then one night I was scrolling Facebook when I probably should have been trying to fall asleep, and this thing popped up. They were asking 2,600 Canadian, and I hit the buy it now on it. This is the 1998 OPC Chrome Wayne Gretzky Blast from the Past Refractor, a tribute to one of the most iconic cards in sports cards history. Really cool detail about this card is this is actually a playing years card for Gretzky, which I believe makes this card totally unique as there is no other example of an iconic card that has a playing years refractor reprint like this. This is also a very rare card. There's only ever been 47 of these graded by PSA. Compare that to his 1979 OPC card, which has been graded over 8,400 times. There was no real action between the late summer through to the fall, so my next big pickups came in November. On November 8th, I picked up this Connor McDavid Emerald Surge out of 2020 OPC Platinum. Unfortunately, I cannot do a cool spinny table video for this one, as this card is still in my Ship My Cards vault. 2020 Platinum's probably my favorite OPG Platinum set ever, so to get the Emerald Surge for McDavid was big for me, and this was a card I was looking for quite some time. My next pickup was just a couple days after that, when I picked up this 2018 Upper Deck Synergy Elias Pettersson True Rookie card, numbered just out of 9. I have a goal to collect all Elias Pettersson's best True Rookie cards, and with this one being numbered just to 9, it's his rarest one by far, so this was definitely high up on the list for me to get. And unfortunately, this one's also still at Ship My Cards, so I don't have any better pictures or videos. And my last big pickup of the year was another trade.
We have a trade to announce.
I gave up my Elias Pettersson Seismic Gold BGS 10 Pop 1. In return, I got Elias Pettersson Upper Deck Young Guns Clear Cut, which was a Pop 2. Just a great trade between two collectors that benefited both sides. Surprisingly, this is just the first parallel I've ever owned for an Elias Pettersson Young Guns, and it is his most iconic card, so a parallel of this card is quite an important card. This is just a really nice one, and this one's got me thinking that I should probably try and get the high gloss and the exclusives next. The Seismic Gold that I gave up is a really awesome card as well, but I did recently get a PSA 10 of that card, so that one became expendable. Well guys, that's it. 2022 is a great year for my collecting. I wish you all a happy New Year's and keep on collecting. Thank you for watching, and bye.